Jancic diverted a pulsing cross into his own net, and Leipzig's first ever final appearance was confirmed when Emil Forsberg shot home from the edge of the penalty area. Jamal Murray's 23 points helped the Denver Nuggets rout the San Antonio Spurs 108-90 on Tuesday to move within one win of their first playoff series triumph in a decade. Up 3-2, the Nuggets can wrap up the series on Thursday in San Antonio, where they won last weekend for the first time since 2012, regaining the home court advantage. The Nuggets, who posted the best home record in the NBA and ended a 6-year playoff drought by earning a surprising second seed in the Western Conference playoffs, finally looked like the team that rolled through the regular season, led by All-Star Nikola Jokic and backed up by the best bench in the league. Jokic had 16 points, 11 rebounds and 8 assists, and Denver led by as many as 30 points at 99-69, after which their starters took a seat. DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge each scored 17 for San Antonio, but Denver dominated this one almost from the tip.
Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola has confirmed midfielder Kevin De Bruyne will miss today's derby against Manchester United with a muscle injury. De Bruyne was replaced by Fernandinho 38 minutes into City's 1-0 win over Tottenham and won't recover in time for the Manchester derby. It's the latest in a string of injury setbacks for De Bruyne, who has been limited to 18 Premier League appearances this season.
And a very good afternoon to you. Welcome to the Rfuea ground for the Kenya Cup playoff quarter-final match between Impala Saracens and Quins. Remember, the winner of this game proceeds to the semi-final on the 11th of May, and they will face KCB at the Lions Den. It's been a 2-week break away from rugby matters, especially if it's live broadcast. But we are here at the most critical stage of the Kenya Cup season. It's a playoff quarterfinal between these two Ngong rivals who share a fence. Kenya Harlequins and Impala. These two teams clashed on the 26th of January, and it was Kenya Harlequins who came out tops with bragging rights, winning by 37 points to 24. My name is William Juguna, and I'll be joined very shortly by Michael Kwambo for this live broadcast of this game. Remember, we do have a playoff game happening 250, 300 kilometers away in Nakuru between Nakuru RFC and Mwamba. The winner of that game will face Kabras Sugar on the 11th of May at the Kakamega Showground. So a lot to play for. Remember, this game has got no bonus points. It's winner take all. The winner advances, the loser goes home. So a very warm welcome to wherever you're watching from any part of the country, as well as East and Central Africa. It's the Kenya Cup playoffs. Harlequins against Impala, two bitter foes, two bitter rivals who clash this afternoon. This is how they finished on the league standings. Quins finishing the league in third spot on 53 points, 10 wins, 1 draw, 5 losses, while Impala finishing 6th on 9 wins and 7 draws and 45 points. So that's how the league phase ended. Question is now, who will carry the day in this game? Remember, it's winner take all. The winner advances to the semi-finals, the loser goes home. These two teams incidentally clashed last year at the same stage of the competition at the Impala ground, with Impala winning by 34 points to 10. So who will carry the day is only one way to find out. So stay tuned on Bamba Sport for the next 80 minutes. It's a clash of two bitter rivals, two bitter foes, to determine who will carry the day. So this is your Kenya Harlequin lineup, which has Brian Obwaya, Edwin Oseko, Paul Kioko, Mike Onsando, Tony Mutai, Patrice Agunda, Herman Humwa, Kevin Engote, and in the backs we do have Dominic Osino, Eden Agero, Aluda Beda, David Ambunya, Laila Siligwa, Frank Wanyama, and Laila Siligwa at fullback, with the substitutes bench, Brian Waraba, Elisha Koronya, Melvin Tairu, Hilary Baraza, Peter Misango, David Semwani, Edward Chitanda, and Eric Shukuku on the subs bench. The head coach is Charles Kaduvilis. And on the Impala side, we do have Steve Juma, Daniel Dome, Sol Chivumbi, Davis Makori, Eric Kere, Elkins Musonye, Tyson Okoth, Joel Amwer completing the back row. And on the back side, we do have Samson Onsomu, Nato Simiu, Ishmael Mokaya, Anthony Nyandigisi, Quinto Ongo, Antonio Diambo, and Bill Omondi. And on the subs bench, we do have Edgar Obino, Soita Wekesa, Eric Kopondo, Paul Mutsami, Xavier Bet, Samuel Lech, Bradley Ocheng, and Kelvin Rono. The head coach is Frank Ndong. So that is the Impala team, which takes on Quins in what should be an eagerly anticipated contest, with the winner advancing to the semi-final against KCB on the 11th of May in 2 weeks' time at the Lions Den in Ruaraka. It's a snapshot of the crowd which has come to catch a glimpse of the action. Ngong Road Derby. Weather has been pretty wet in the better part of Nairobi. For the better part of the week, it's been raining. So I do get pitch side conditions are going to be very slippery and very tricky as the two teams engage in a battle. Joining me in commentary here is Michael Kwambo. As you can see, the Impala contingent, their fans slowly streaming in before kickoff gets underway. The referee for today's encounter is Linus Kinuthia. Mike?
Thank you very much, William. Of course, it is a pleasure being back. Since our last commentary on the 6th of April, the crowd here at the Rfuea grounds gathered here to see who between Kenya Harlequin and Impala Saracens will be proceeding to the semi-finals of the Kenya Cup. William, as you have mentioned earlier, these two teams met last year, and will this be the turn for Impala to turn the tables on Quins? Quins have had a rather more solid season in comparison to Impala, finishing third on the log at the end of the regular season, while Impala, they waited until the last round of action on match day 16 to secure a berth in the top 6 playoffs. And obviously, when you're heading into this stage of the competition, it is knockout rugby. There is everything to play for. We do expect to see a game that is at a higher intensity. Remember, the other semi-final fixture will be between Kabras Sugar and the winner of the second top 6 playoff, taking place in Nakuru this afternoon between Top Fry Nakuru and Stanbic Mwamba. It will be interesting to see how that one goes, as you just see the crowd here at the Rfuea moments before kickoff. Conditions, William, as you rightly mentioned, will have a role to play in the game. But it had been hot and dry in Nairobi over the past few weeks, but the last few days have witnessed a dip in temperatures and obviously also a change in conditions with intermittent rain. We've seen some green on the Rfuea grounds, and should be the stage for a great display of rugby from both teams.
Absolutely, yes. Pitch side conditions could be a factor in this game on how these two teams are going to play. Will they keep it very tight in the forwards? It probably will be a territorial game employed by both sides. As I can see, the cameramen and the photographers are getting their lenses ready for what should be a bruising encounter between these two teams, and a place in the semi-final looming large for both sides, as KCB do await in the semi-final in 2 weeks' time. We are coming to the business end of the season, so a lot to play for, a lot at stake between Quins and Impala. And also next weekend we do have the Enterprise Cup semi-finals, which will be between KCB and Impala, and Kabras Sugar against Harlequins here at the Rfuea ground. The KCB game and the Impala game will be played at the Impala club. So the Quins players with their anthem. As we have told you, the center referee is going to be Linus Kinuthia. It's going to be a very pivotal game here between these two teams. Don't like each other. A lot at stake between Quins and Impala. The Kenya Cup semi-finals on May 11th and the final on May 18th.
Of course, the teams are through with their formalities. We just got a glimpse of the Quins players lining up for their club anthem. Both sides making their way into the tunnel. It will be 80 minutes of high-octane rugby. Remember, there has to be a winner this afternoon, and if the match is not decided over 80 minutes, we will go into extra time to find out who between these two teams will be facing KCB in the Kenya Cup semi-final on the 11th of May at the KCB Sports Club in Ruaraka. In our picture there, just catch a glimpse of Kenya International KCB fullback Darwin Mukidza, currently recovering from knee surgery. He will be out for 8 weeks now. In short, just missing out on the rest of the regular season. The numbers building up here at the Rfuea ground. We just catch a glimpse of the captains in the quartered shirt there for Kenya Harlequins is Patrice Agunda, former Kenya Sevens international, and leading out Impala in the red jersey is Kenya international scrum half Samson Onsomu. The two teams making their way out onto the field of play. This should be great rugby action.
Yes, the two teams now finally making their way onto the pitch. A lot at stake. The banter by both sides over this week has been interesting. Question is now, who will carry the day on the field of play in the 80 minutes between these two neighbors, these two fierce rivals. Last time out when these two teams met, it was Harlequins who carried the day, winning by 37 points to 24. A game they started like on a house on fire, leading. I think at halftime the score must have been 27 points to 0. That game was pretty much won in the first half. Question is, do Quins employ the same tactics, or do Impala have an ace up their sleeve in this game? Remember the other quarter-final fixture being played in the Rift Valley between Nakuru and Mwamba. The winner of that game travels to Kakamega to face Cabras Sugar on the 11th of May. The winner here just makes the short trip down Ngong Road onto Thika Superhighway to the Lions Den to face KCB. So, winner take all. The winner advances, the loser goes home.
Linus Kinuthia just making sure that everything is in order before calling this match into process. This is Antonio Thiambo with the kickoff for Impala. It is a high and hanging ball claimed there by Quins. Going into contact. Quins ground looking a lot greener as a result of the recent rains, and obviously the efforts by the club management in trying to rehabilitate the pitch after the recent dry spell that rocked major parts of the country. Ball booted downfield, didn't look to have been fielded well by Laila Siligo, but it bounced backwards. Eventually this is Aluda Beda in possession. He goes down to the floor and is bundled out into touch from that tackle. Early moments yet, the teams still trying to have a feel of each other before settling into a rhythm. And there we just see that was an offload from Laila Siligo to Aluda Beda. The cover tackle came through. Once again, another high and hanging ball. Impala looking to gain the territorial advantage early on. Laila Siligwa was not comfortable with that bounce. Goes out into play, but it will be a line-out throw for Kenya Harlequins. As you just catch a glimpse of the Impala technical bench there, Oscar Osir and Frank Ndong. Themselves Kenya Cup winners in their day. They won the treble, Floodlight Enterprise Cup and Kenya Cup. during that glorious period between 2000 and 2002. Frank Nong, former Kenya international hooker, now in charge of his club side, Impala Saracens. Ball is taken into the maul there. Quins at the base of it. Dominic Osino with the offload. Eden Aguero sides foot his defender. Plays it through to Frank Wanyama. This is Wanyama with the show and go, elects to go into contact. He has men arriving. Osino plays it out wide. This is Aluda Beda. His progress is slowed down. Still Quins keeping the ball alive. Heading into a second phase of play, barely 2 minutes into the match. Passes out wide. Quins will be looking to stretch the Impala defense. They certainly do have pace out wide, and this is looking positive for them. William Baka with the return pass. And this is going to be the game's opening try. That was Herman Huma with the canter. He is stopped inches close to the try line, but Quins surging forward. The try has been awarded. We will confirm the try scorer in a moment, although it looked like Paul Kioko.
Yeah, looks like Paul Kioko. Good hands coming in there from Quins there, spreading the ball out wide, looking for the mismatches on the wing, and Kioko looks to have picked an injury as he went over the whitewash with that try. Good work there. William Baka looking for man in space, gave it to David Ambunya, and Ambunya just tackled a few meters short, but good recycling there from Quins. Dominic Osino with a pop pass there, and Paul Kioko, oh, that was a nasty injury. Was he able to ground the ball? I thought he actually didn't ground the ball there to me, and Linus Kinuthia has actually given the try, but I'm looking at if we could just get angles there from our TV director there. I think the try has been given by Linus Kinuthia, but though Paul Kioko looked a meter short, but good work there from Quins as they recycled the ball and looked for spaces. And Impala down to 14 men. There has been a card which has been given there. We'll confirm to you who has been sent to the bin.
Try and a yellow card. What an eventful start to this game, William Juguna. Of course, there will be questions about that try scored, but remember, our judgment is totally different from that of the referee. But certainly this is going to be a talking point in this match as Impala prepare to restart the game.
Good work from the Quins players. They were able to field, they were able to get that ball from the line out, take it out wide, and able to put to get support play through their backs there, and finally they get on the whitewash. Don't know if that try has been converted, but we shall wait and see, because the referee has already issued a yellow card. So Impala are down to 14 men as they get the restart underway here at the Rfuea ground. Remember, it's a Kenya Cup playoff quarter-final showdown between these two rivals on Gong Road, and it's Quins who have the early lead and the early dominance so far. Impala with the turnover. Can they make it count here? Good break there coming from Impala. Can they get on the whitewash? Yes, they can. And Impala strike back in minutes.
Just what the doctor ordered. Try has been scored there by Elkins Musonye, Kenya international back row. That was a barging run from the number 7. But you have to question Quins' commitment in their tackling and basically on defense, because they just stood and watched Elkins Musonye coast through.
Absolutely, yes. No one picking him there. A half-hearted tackle there from Brian Oboya, but Elkins Musonye just saw space opening up for him, and as a back row you just charge on and run on, and he was able to get the try there for Impala. So Impala strike back, and I think the two defenses here on both sides not really coming up to the party so far. If you look at how the Quins try was scored, Samuel Liech, who was starting this match on the bench, I think has probably come in. So that takes the score now to 7-5, as we shall confirm that try which was scored by Quins, if it was converted. But from here on the commentary booth, it looks like it wasn't converted, so it's 7-7. Okay. So the restart here is going to be taken here by Laila Siligwa. Interesting opening 10 minutes of this encounter here at the Impala Club. Was a knock on there from Impala, so it's going to be a Quins ball. Remember, we do have a playoff quarter-final game happening at the Nakuru Athletic Club between Mwamba and Nakuru. Okay. 7-7 the scoreline. First scrum of the afternoon here. Let's see who has the dominance. Quins scrum going backwards there, but Kevin Nangote is able to go on a good run there. He's able to get good support from his forwards. Osino flings out the ball to Tony Mutai. Good run there from Haman Humwa, and Osino just dropping the ball with the trail and beckoning. So Impala will be able to clear the lines. Onsomu finds Nyandigisi, and Nyandigisi just puts the ball out for territory, and it's won there by Laila Siligwa. Would that be a line out throw, or there was an infringement there?
William Zuguna, just a confirmation of the scores. It is 7-all between Impala and Quins.
It's going to be a line out throw there to Quins. Quins there attempted to go on a very good break. There was good work there between Tony Mutai and Haman Humwa. And as Humwa released Osino just coughed the ball up there, and the advantage was lost. So line out throw there, the best of lineouts there from Quins, and it's Impala who clean it up. Nsomu, Anthony Odhiambo, not the best of kicks from Odhiambo. It's won there by Frank Wanyama and Ishmael Okoya, and a bit of Baji going on. Bit of tension now boiling over between the two sets of players.
William Zuguna, that is just the perfect recipe for this kind of match. A derby between two sides, bitter rivals and neighbors, separated only by the fence which is behind us.
Davis Makori there just trying to calm matters down, and even Samson Osomu acting as the peacemaker, as the arbitrator. And that was a spear tackle from Frank Wanyama. Don't know why he did it actually, because Ishmael Mukaya didn't have the ball. Was uncalled for, unnecessary, but you expect this, especially in a derby of this magnitude. The two sets of players coming to defend their own in that scenario.
Well, sometimes, William Jiguna, you just have a rush of blood, which probably explains some irrational actions there, because Frank Wanyama really should have just committed himself to the tackle. But obviously, as you said, this being a derby and him wanting to assert himself, there is the bigger battle between Impala and Quins. But remember, there will be smaller battles in, for example, midfield and in other parts of the game. In our picture there, the man who is out on the yellow card, Quinto Ongo, yellow carded just after the try that was awarded to Quins. Quinto Ongo, no stranger to the sin bin, but still quite a very decent player.
Yeah, Quinto, Kwambo, but this rush of blood can cost your team, because if the referee was policing it to the letter of the law, probably Frank Wanyama should have been sent to the bin with a yellow card, because clearly it was a spear tackle. It was over the intended vertical height. As Calvin Dono there goes, Daniel Domo goes on a very good run. Makori now charging through the middle. Onsomu finding Anthony Odhiambo as that man there. Anthony Nyandigisi just puts that kick for touch there. Good reception from the Impala substitute bench. Both sides actually attempting to play a territorial game to try and play in each other's half, especially with the conditions on the pitch. But we've seen some good nippy work by the backs, especially by Quins, and to a lesser degree Impala. As this
is Daniel Ndome bracing himself for the line out throw. It wasn't fielded by Eric Kere, and the referee will award the scrum feed to Kenya Harlequin. There was a knock on there from Eric Carey as he attempted to claim that ball in the air from the line-out throw by Daniel Ndome. As he said, William Juguna, not the best of line-out throws, but that has been the case of the set piece throughout the season in the Kenya Cup.
Yes, absolutely, I agree with you, Mike. It's been an area which will really, I think, our clubs, and we hope it doesn't filter to the national team, because the set piece at the line-out is such a key component. It's such a key component of the game that you have to get right, especially if you're in an attacking position or if you're defending it from the opposition. Osino with the scrum feed here for Quins, as Impala try and put pressure on the Quins set piece, but they're able to deliver the ball. Frank Wanyama being held up there. It's good defense coming in from Impala and Quins, and Impala lose that ball. Good defense there from Impala there. They were able to shunt Frank Wanyama back, and it's going to be a scramble for Impala. Can they make this advantage count here in these opening exchanges? 12 minutes gone here at the Rfuea ground, and I can see actually not Michael Mwanja, but Dennis Mwanja on a watching brief from KCB. Remember, KCB faced the winners of this game, and so far probably they won't be quaking in their boots if they're KCB, seeing what they have seen so far in this opening 13 minutes.
Well, William Juguna, you could say that, but remember, once again, this is a knockout rugby. You could have a bad day in the office and be out of contention after having a very stellar season. This is a solid drive from Impala. Samson Onsomu was observant there, as is Dominic Osino. The ball eventually claimed by the try scorer Elkins Musonye. He just drives forward another meter or so. It is played to Eric Carey. He's looking for men. He finds the floor. Onsomu with the darting run. He spotted that gap, creating a wonderful opportunity for Impala. They are virtually on the Quins try line. Quins are defending with their lives. Impala attacking. The ball is what is being looked for by everyone. Quins needed to boot themselves out of this pressure situation. Impala need to get more points on the board. That is Daniel Ndome just surging forward one more meter. Somu just marshalling his forwards. Davis Makori carries it another meter forward. I'm sure Vincent Chue, catching this match all the way in Minnesota in the USA, is having the time of his life as Impala surge forward. They have Quins on the ropes. This is furious from the Saracens. Quins are on the rope. They are defending. Onsomu just marshalling his forwards. They are inches close to the try line. Onsomu has sight of the ball. He distributes it out wide. This is an opportunity for Quins. Are they going to take it? It is Elkins Musonye with his brace. And they go ahead 12-7 with the conversion to come. But William Juguna, that was patient from Impala, and they have reaped the just reward.
Absolutely, that try was coming, especially once they got that scrum feed going, and they got the momentum and the drive in the scrum. There was only one winner coming out, and Impala get their try, the second try of the afternoon. Elkins Musonye, who's already having a mighty shift at the Impala back row, is winning the battle with the Quins back rows there, and he's able to fend off Laila Siligwa there and William Baka. Try number 2 for Impala, and that takes the score now to 12-7 with the conversion to come. You can see what it means to Impala. When these two teams clashed in January, Impala played second fiddle in the first half, but this time round they have come out guns blazing, and they are leading by 12 points to 7 with the conversion to come. 15 minutes gone here at the Rfuea ground.
Samuel Oliech cuts a figure of concentration as he drills that ball between the sticks. Impala go 14-7 up here, and their fans waving the flag, obviously excited. Impala have doubled the lead against Quins. We still have about 65 minutes to play. But William Juguna, remember what we told you, this is knockout rugby. It's how you show up on the day. And Impala certainly have shown up brighter than they have during the entire season, when they were really pushing the envelope in terms of margins against their opposition.
Absolutely, very encouraging start from Impala, but a long way to go, especially if it's a derby game. You can only be sure of the result once the referee calls the final whistle after 60 minutes. So far, encouraging signs for Impala, who lead by 14 points to 7. Samson Onsomu with the box kick. Just trying to get that territory. What can Quins do here?
Slaila Siligwa with the big kick downfield. It is claimed beautifully by Impala Saracens, just looking to launch another counter-attack, and this is wonderful. Eric Kere, actually that was Odhiambo. The ball claimed by Michael Onsando. He has David Ambunya in support, but he spilled the ball as he went into contact. The turnover is forced by Impala. The advantage is now with the visitors, Impala Saracens. Samson Onsomu, the Kenya international. He brings in Joel Omer, former Kenya under-20 international. Onsomu is looking to marshal his forwards. Charles Kadovilis is all concentration. We've played 17 minutes of the first half, but William Juguna, it has been a very eventful 17 minutes.
Very eventful so far. It's Impala who seem to be dominating these early exchanges. Still a long way to go, but they're playing in the right areas of the pitch. They're possession playing, and here comes now Samuel Liech. Good play here from Impala. Who does he have in support? That pass was actually forward there. Was it a forward pass? And it's Quins who are leaving off dangerously there. Impala just didn't have the support there. That should have been probably try number 3 for Impala. Good cutting there coming in from Samuel Liech. Just couldn't finish it off, and I think there was a hint of a forward pass in that final ball as they were attempting try number 3.
William Juguna, you can certainly see the intent from Impala. That was Quinto Ongo with the offload. Went begging there. It was claimed eventually by Herman Huma, but as you said, there was an infringement that had been spotted. But after 18 minutes of play, you can say that it is Impala playing with their tails up. Quins don't look like they have left the dressing room yet.
Yes, yeah, it's Impala who do have their tails up, and Charles Kadovilis will probably go for a rethink. I mean, they're only 7 points behind, so it's still early days yet, but Quins have to settle into this game and get into a rhythm, get their forwards, the likes of Patrick Oboya, Tony Mutai, Herman Humwa, and Kevin Angote back into this game, because it's Impala who seem to be dominating the exchanges both in possession and in territory. Forwards are able to get over the advantage line, and they're able to offload the ball to their nippy backs and ask questions of the Quins defense. 19 minutes gone as we approach the halfway mark of the first half. Dominic Osino, the scrum put in, and it's Impala who trying to get a shove, but Osino is able to clear his line, and Eden Aguero, haven't seen so much of him, doesn't find touch. It's won there by Quinto Ongo as Samuel Liech carries the ball a couple of meters ahead. Here comes Davis Makori.
Davis Makori has been a busybody for Impala in the opening 20 minutes or so. They have certainly come out to play. Onsomo, Nyandigisi, Quinto Ongo. Elkins Musonye is on a hat-trick. Is he going to get it? He shrugs off one defender, finds the floor. Nyandigisi is there to just secure the ruck. Onsomu is there to eventually get the ball and distribute it out wide. Davis Makori has been everything for Impala in this opening 20 minutes, and he continues to carry that ball. Daniel Ndome with a go-forward ball. Onsomu looking to bring more of his players into the fray. This is Eric Kere. The ball is eventually cleaned off by Michael Onsando. It is a bit sloppy back home for Quins. David Ambunya grounds the ball, but the advantage is with the Impala Saracens. William Juguna, they want to return to the Kenya Cup semi-final for yet another season.
Absolutely, yes. They do have the tails up. Quins yet to settle in this game, and it's Impala forwards who are shading this contest so far. But Impala need to take their chances and make it count, especially when they get to the Quins 22, because it's only 14-7, and you can see there Malcolm Onsando stripped the ball out of Eric Kere as he was attempting to lay another platform. So Impala will have to be wary of that as they get into the red zone. It's 14-7. Impala leading in this first half. 20 odd minutes have gone in this play for encounter. The winner advances to the semi-finals to face KCB on the 11th of May. And Impala chasing that spot as Samson Onsemu feeds his ball into the scrum.
Certainly has been a very bright opening for the visitors. And then the scrum collapses.
Yes, the scrum collapses. Pitch side conditions very sticky, very slippery. But in Impala, who do have the go forward ball, they do have the dominance and the ascendancy so far. And they do have the dominant scrum. Apart from that try which Paul Kyoko scored, it's Impala who have dominated this opening 20 odd minutes of this encounter here at the Rfuea ground. A complete contrast to what happened on January 26th when Impala were run ragged by the Quins side. And so with the scrum put in, the scrum collapse, and it's Quins who get the rub of the green. Linus Kinuthia penalizing Impala there, and a missed opportunity for Impala as Quins now are able to get out of their zone here. Charles Kadoville is just backing out instructions. Quins need to look for territory. And Slaila Siligwa doesn't find so much touch, but is able to clear his line, and it's going to be a line out throw for Quins. They've dodged a bullet there. Do have a German Shepherd on the pitch here.
You know, William Juguna, just seeing the sight of that dog on the field of play and remembering the culture that we live in. There's so many things that could happen. People would call that some research, an omen,
or an omen,
either good luck or bad luck. But let's focus on the rugby, and talk about that later on.
Tony Mutai wins that ball clean off the top here. That's Patrice Agunda, Eden Agero, Frank Wanyama, William Baka. Haven't seen so much of him in this encounter, but he's held up there. But he's able to present the ball to Osino. Osino gives the ball now to Ambunya. And Quins on a good run here. That's Kevin Angote. Angote eats a bit of ground there. Carries the ball strong and hard. Osino. Eden Agero flings a pass there to...
That was Aluda Beda going into contact. He grounds that ball. This is Paul Kyoko, a man whose efforts led to that try being awarded. Can confirm that it was a penalty try, and that is the reason Quinto Ongo was sent to the sin bin.
Linus Kinuthia penalizing Impala there for illegal work at the breakdown, or probably not policing the offside line. Was a high tackle there from Joel Omer, and I don't think the prop there, Kelvin Rono, came from the right side, didn't go through the gate, so it's going to be advantage to Quins here. Can they get back into this game? It's Impala who've had the momentum and the territorial and possession dominance in this opening 24 odd minutes. It's actually going to be a penalty, going to be taken by Aluda Beda. Quins would have taken more risk and played to the corner, but they're actually going for the 3 points.
Well, William Juguna, if you do have the kicker and you have the opportunity, go for whatever points that you can get. You don't want to rue these missed opportunities later on in the game. The kicking duties have been tasked to Aluda Beda, and that is a high kick, but it is not accurate. The scores remain 14-7, 15 minutes to play in the first half here at the Rfuea ground. Remember, we do have another top 6 playoff quarter-final fixture taking place concurrently. Top Fry Nakuru against Stanbic Wamba at the Nakuru Athletic Club. We will update you with scores from that fixture as we receive them. 22-meter dropout by Sami Oliech is deep into Quins territory. Look to start yet another wave of attacks. This is Kenya Sevens international Eden Agero, plays it out to his Kenya Sevens international teammate Herman Humwa. Frank Wanyama finds the floor. Dominic Osino brings it to Agero, delays the pass, but eventually plays it to the veteran Tony Mutai. Sells the dummy, finds the floor. Osino. Agero once again just looking to string up something. This is Edward Oseko. He almost did not expect that reverse pass from Aguero. Quins technical bench there, Benjamin Ayimba and Josh Odalo, all concentration. Matters on the pitch continue. Osino brings more men into the fray. Asiligwa, Ambunya delays the pass, goes into contact. He is floored by Mokaya, but does well to present it. This is Wanyama, beats one man on the tackle, plays it into the captain, Patrice Agunda. Osino, Mutai brings in Michael Onsando, shrugs off the challenge from Makori and goes to the floor. Asiligwa plays it to Aguero, dances through one defender. Yet another phase of play for Quins. They are patient as they look to first cut the deficit before probably leveling the score here. 13 minutes remain in the first half. It is 14-7. 2 tries from Elkins Musonye have seen Impala go into the lead. This is a wonderful phase of play and possession for Quins. Paul Kioko, he has his men arriving in numbers. Seko is there to secure the ruck. Osino brings in William Baka. Baka to Angote. He is bundled out into touch, but William Juguna, that has been good play from Quins. They've been able to gain about 20 meters in terms of territory. What can they do from this position they find themselves in?
Yeah, good phase of play that, from Harlequins. Were able to get like almost 7-8 phases of play, but just that the attacking thrust is not what you're expecting from them, as Impala able to shepherd out Kevin Angote into touch. So it's going to be a line-out throw for Impala. And question is, can they get it right in the line-out? Can they get their set piece right and play in the right areas of the pitch? It's 14-7, 12.5 minutes to go to the end of the first half. Remember, the winner of this encounter proceeds to the semi-finals of the Kenya Cup, where KCB await on May 11th at the Lions Den in Ruaraka, as Nakuru and Mwamba battle it out at Suguta Valley in Nakuru, or as they call it, the Nest, with the winner advancing to play Cabras or the Kakamega Showground on the 11th of May. Yeah, but we do have a break in play here, as the Queen's player attendant Charles Cadoville is there. Not encouraged by what he has seen in the first half. It's still a long way to go. It's only a 7-pointer, and a lot can happen between now and the next 50 minutes. Or should the game go into extra time, there has to be a winner this afternoon here at the Rfuea ground in this Ngong Road Derby Kenya Cup playoff quarterfinal. It's going to be a line-out throw here for Impala. They win it. Elkins Musonye, Samson Onsomu, and Samuel Liech is just able to clear his lines, and it's won there by Luda Beda. That back three for Quins doing a bit of work there. Laila Siligwa. What can they do here? William Baka shrugging off one or two defenders there from Impala. Presents the ball to Osino. Osino finds Humwa. Humwa finds Mutai. Mutai finds man in jersey number 7, Patrice Agunda. Paul Kioko scored the try. Osino, Asiligwa, Aguero, Ambunya. Ambunya held up there. Impala tried to get the turnover, and Patrice Agunda goes for a quick tap here, as Quins now smell blood piling on bodies there. Mutai
dances through 1 and 2 defenders before finding the floor. Aguero does well to field that ball. Wasn't the best of passes. Did well to control it. It did bounce back, and he did well to keep possession for Quins. Frank Ndong, not too sure whether he is smiling or just thinking hard. It is difficult to decipher his facial expressions. Michael Onsando looks to have found the ball for Quins.
So it's going to be an infringement there, and it's going to be, I think, an Impala ball. 9.5 minutes remaining to the first half. early days yet as we come to the end of the first half, but it's Impala who've shedded possession and territory, and they do lead the scoreboard, but we do have almost another 50 odd minutes to go before we can get a winner. Very interesting atmosphere here at the Rfuea ground, Michael Kwambo. When we go back to that January game, there was a lot of excitement and tension at the Impala club. Today's game looks a little bit subdued. I could be wrong, but I don't know. Anyway, here comes Impala here.
That's hard running from Ismail Mokaya. Crucial meters gained. Samson Onsomu with the ball. Looks to release the man out wide, but elects to go into contact. The nippy scrum half is looking to find the floor, but he is not going to come off tops in that physical battle. Eventually dispossessed by the Quins forwards. And yes, possession swings the way of Quins. That was crucial work there from the captain, Patrice Agunda.
Yeah, he was able to wrap around the diminutive figure of Samson Onsomu and able to wrap his hand around him, and it's a turnover there for Quins. Can they finish the half strongly? They've been second best for huge chunks of this first half, but they're still very much in this game. They're not out of the game by any stretch of the imagination here at the Impala, here at the Rfuea ground. Latest score from Nakuru is that Nakuru are leading 7 points to 3 against Mwamba. Kelvin Omio with Geoffrey Ominde, the conversion.
This is hard running from Frank Wanyama. Takes a lot to bring him down, and when he goes down, he presents the ball. Osino has been arrested there by Samuel H. Impala forced the turnover. Tyson Okoth, and then the knock-on from Quinto Ongo, just undoing all the hard work Tyson Okoth had done at the breakdown.
Absolutely, yes. All the hard work that Tyson Okoth and Samuel H had done, being undone there by Quinto Ongo. And advantage swinging back to Quins. Nakuru lead Mwamba by 7 points to 3 in that game. Lead Nakuru. Good capacity crowd here at the Rfuea ground, especially the center stand. I can see Chairman Odwor Gangla is also there, and a former Queens player, Hidula Mbaya, sitting next to each other, catching an eye on proceedings. Good scrum coming in from Impala there, and they're able to put pressure on Queens there, and they're able to force the turnover. This will be encouraging for Impala, because if you cast your eye back to that game in January, they were really run ragged by Queens, but the stakes are very much high for both sides, and the referee penalizes Impala there.
Well, Juguna, if I can recall, they were virtually blown away in the opening 25 or so minutes. It was always going to be hard for them to recover, and when they did, it was too late. The game was way out of their hands.
So advantage swinging back to Quins, and this passage of play as Laila Siligwa takes play to the corner. It's going to be a line-out throw for Quins. But already Impala dominating the scrum. You can see Patrice Agunda already. Patrice Agunda actually Edward Oseko with the ball.
This is Edward Oseko with the line-out throw for Quins. Is claimed by Tony Mtai, sets up a platform for home side who enter the Impala 22. They are driving forward. Quins have been rather sedate, not the voracious Quins that we've come to see when they show up during the Kenya Cup this past season. This is pretty decent from their forwards. Dominic Osino is just urging a lot more commitment from his forwards as he looks for that ball. Obviously with his eyes wide open, deciding whether to keep it in the forwards or distribute it out wide to Eden Aguero, who will then command the orchestra.
Referee's arm is out. Linus Kinize's arm is out for intentionally collapsing the scrum.
Advantage is with Quins. The ball is on the floor, and there comes the penalty. William Juguna, you called it.
Yes.
There it comes.
Yeah, there it comes, yes. The referee's arm was out, intentionally collapsing the scrum. You can see the picture there, Chairman Odor Gangla with Kidula Mbaya, who is a former Quins player.
It's also important to note Odor Gangla has played in these Ngong Road derbies in years gone by. He was a member of the Impala Saracens squad that won the Kenya Cup 3 years in a row between the years 2000 and 2002. Definitely knows what it takes to be in that boiler room, as he did when he operated from the number 8 position. The ball claimed there by Tony Mutai. This is promising for Quins. Dominic Osino looks for that ball. Quins forwards has continued to surge. Impala once again putting in their shoulders. Osino has a ball, plays it out wide. Aguero with the cross kick. Is it going to be claimed? William Baka claims it. Doesn't bounce in his favor. Opportunity lost, but you could see the quick thinking from Eden Aguero.
Yes, and the referee's arm was out, so he was playing advantage there. So Quins have an opportunity just to finish the half strongly. They trail by 14 points to 7. But they've dominated this passage of play. And can they get their hands on the scoreboard? It will be another Quins set piece. They will go to the corner for another line out, or will it be a scrum? They don't have the edge at scrum time, so it will be a line out throw. They go to the corner yet again. And Impala will have to be very careful with their discipline here as Edward Oseko lines up this line out throw.
Latest from the Nakuru Athletic Club. Mwamba now lead Nakuru by 8 points to 7. Scored a try, but we will confirm the try scorer in a few. But that is the score from Nakuru. Here it remains 14-7 to Impala Saracens, playing in the red and white strip. Quins the home side in the quartered shirts.
Playing from right to left. And it's Quins who are attacking here. They're very much in the Impala 22 as they attempt to get parity on the scoreboard. Osino just trying to go for the pick and drive, trying to suck in the Impala forwards here. Both teams evenly matched in the backs.
There was some quick thinking from Frank Wanyama. Just gains another meter forward. Kevin Angote is in possession, desperately trying to find the floor. There is some forward movement from the Quins number 8. Osino plays it to Paul Kioko. Kioko is on the ground. The ball is presented once again. Osino plays it out wide. Impala defending desperately, just looking to break the momentum being built by Quins. Less than a minute of time on the clock to play here in the first half. Quins sniffing points on the board. Impala have been penalized, and we go to the scene of the initial offense. Big question is, do Quins go for the 3? Do they go for the 5? But you could see from Lyle Asiligwa's body movement, they are electing to go for the 3.
Yes, absolutely. Wise decision there by Lyle Asiligwa, because they have literally camped in the Impala 22 for the last 7 or so 8 minutes, but haven't got anything. So just take the 3 as we approach the halftime interval. Quins have shaded the last passage of play, especially the last 10 minutes or so, as we come to the end of the first half here at the Impala Club. Remember, it's the Kenya Cup playoffs, the Ngong Road Derby here at the Impala Club, at the Rfuea ground. It's Impala leading by 14 points to 7. They've defended well, but have been on the wrong side of the referee's calls here as Asiligwa lines up this penalty attempt. Don't know if the referee will play on added time here.
He drills it between the sticks, brings the scores to 14-10. That was pretty straightforward. Definitely just the kind of response you need going into the interval. Of course, we still have a few minutes to play. There was 1 or 2 stoppages, while the time on the clock indicates 40 minutes. Linus Kinuthia will be blowing for halftime any moment now. Part of the crowd that has turned up here at the Rfuea ground, which is the home of Kenyan rugby. This is where the Kenya national team, the Simbas, play their international fixtures. Unfortunately, in 2019, there will be no Rugby Africa Gold Cup fixtures. That's a conversation for another day, as Sami Oliech gets the match restarted. That kick was eventually claimed by Quins. That's hard running as they find themselves with the momentum heading into the final moments of the half. Osino, Tony Mutai delays before going to the ground. Osino once again Asiligwa, Agero. This is Frank Wanyama with the pass under pressure to Aludabeda. Aludabeda gains no ground. Instead, he has been cornered by a bunch of Impala players. The ball is on the floor. The referee is playing the advantage.
There's actually going to be a knock on there from Aludabeda. An advantage swinging to Impala. Both sides just trying to get on the right side of the referee's calls here. Could see the reaction from Frank Wanyama. So Impala with a scrum here into the last couple of minutes of this encounter here at the Rfuea ground. Remember, it's a Kenya Cup playoffs. 14-10, Impala leading. A long way to go here. Can Impala finish the first half strongly?
This is Samson Onsomu with the scrum feed for Impala. They've been under the cosh the past few minutes from Quins, and then that was a handling error under pressure. Antonio Thiambo able to field that pass.
Poor communication they're coming in from Impala, and just failing to cash in on the advantage which they have. And Antonio Thiambo just took his eye. And opportunity there missed for Impala just to turn in the screw on Quins. So it's going to be advantage to Quins here as we come to the end of the first half. Dominic Osino. Pitch really. Kevin Angote with a good run, shrugging off one or two defenders. He's being held up there by Ishmael Mokaya. But he's able to present the ball to Osino, actually Agero. And a good run there coming in from the Quins backs. David Ambunya there. Osino. A lot of hard running coming in from the Quins backs there. So try and get some mismatches. Paul Kioko spills the ball, and Laila Siligwa finds Aludabeda. And there was a knock on there from Quins. I don't know what the referee's call is going to be. Did he blow for halftime? I think he's going to blow for halftime. Let us wait for the referee. Quinto Ongo there, and yes, it is halftime. It is halftime here at the Rfuea ground in this Kenya Cup playoff fixture, the Ngong Road Derby. 14 points to 10. It's Impala who are leading, but we still do have 40 minutes to go to the end of this encounter. An entire second half, 2 tries to 1, and it's Impala who are leading, 14 points to 10. And that's the halftime whistle which has gone. So we shall show you some of the highlights of the first half. 2 tries to Elkins Musonye, 1 try to Paul Kioko. Two teams have gone hammer and tongs, but it's Impala who lead at the halftime interval. So some of the action of the Impala players coming in. Impala bench and the Quins players singing their anthem. And the two teams made their way into the pitch. So the halftime score, 14 points to 10 as we take you through the halftime highlights of the first half. You can See that tackle there from Antonio Diambo. But it was Quins who started well. And Paul Kioko, despite a tackle there from Quinto Ongo, was able to go over the whitewash. Then Elkins Musonye replied immediately, shrugging off 3 Quins defenders to go over the whitewash there and level matters. And there was this incident here, Frank Wanyama on Ishmael Mokaya, which generated a lot of pushing and shoving between the two sides. And the referee had to calm things down. And then Musonye was able to get over the whitewash for try number 2. Celebrations there from Mokaya and Onsomo. Good step in there from Musonye, and he was able to go over the whitewash. Then this strange dog made its appearance on the pitch, and we don't know what connotations it will leave. And then this was the opportunity that Impala had, as Charles Kadovilis was just catching a glimpse of the action. And in your picture there, Kariu chairman Odor Gangla and Kidula Mbaya, both players who played for both Quins and Impala in their days. As you can see there, William Baka shrugging off 1 or 2 defenders, Frank Wanyama also, and Patrice Agundo skipping 1 past 1 or 2 defenders in this first half here.
I think I started playing competitive rugby in school when I was in Saints. I started in class 4, but didn't get any game time until about class 6 because we didn't have very many fixtures at that age grade. But the most serious, well, when I started playing men's rugby was probably when I was 17, right here at Kenya Harlequins. I did actually play basketball for one season in school, but throughout the season all I could think about was how I was missing rugby. I think I've always liked rugby, and it's just something about having to be on a pitch and control your aggression that does it for me, because it teaches you how to control your aggression as well. I think Quins was mostly because my family has always been associated with Quins. So growing up, I came and watched Quins games. A couple of the players I looked up to, the first players I looked up to were probably Quins players. So I think I already had that connection since I was a young kid. So when it came to choose what club to play for, it was relatively easy. I think it's a culture. I think it's a culture around Quins. It's the culture we're trying to cultivate is basically a family-friendly, high skills and high fitness kind of rugby. And that can only be built over years and years of being a club. So I think Quins and Nondi's being the oldest clubs in Nairobi, some of the clubs with the best culture. So that's why I think I chose Quins. I work for a recruitment agency called Career Directions Limited, and yeah, that's what I do 9 to 5. But before that, I actually just graduated uni last year, so this is my first year in a working job. So yeah. At the moment, well, I could say position-wise, because being a second row, Brody Retallick is definitely a player I look up to and try to emulate on the pitch. But anyone who's playing for the All Blacks right now, if they grabbed a rugby ball, I would be happy to watch them play. Hopefully playing rugby somewhere exotic, I think. I would like to, at one point, try and get a full professional contract. So hopefully that comes through and I'll be playing somewhere soon.
Welcome back to the second half of this Ngong Road derby between Impala and Harlequins here at the Rfuea ground. A very warm welcome for those of you who missed the first half. It's Impala leading by 14 points to 10, 2 tries to 1 to Impala. So let's see what the second half will have in store for us here at the Rfuea ground. Good crowd here in the center stand, but on the other side of the pitch, the numbers not really encouraging for what arguably is the biggest game of the weekend here as we enter into the defining part of the season between in the Kenya Cup, as the two teams make their way back onto the field of play. And can Harlequins get back into ascendancy, or can Impala hold them at bay? Second half, very, very crucial to see who will have the upper hand and who will advance to the playoffs, who will advance to the semi-finals. Remember, the winner of this game faces KCB on May 11th, while the winner of the Nakuru game against Mwamba makes the trip to Kakamega to play Kabra Sugar. So, Linus Kinuthia about to get things underway for the second half here. Laila Siligwa with the restart here for Harlequins. Won there by Impala, who are now playing from right to left. Quins in the quarter jerseys playing from left to right. Anthony Nyandikisi, the big put downfield, fielded very well there by Eden Aguero. Had a blind over game when these two teams met in January. Haven't seen so much of him. Here comes Samuel Liech. That kick, that skies it on the wrong part of the pitch here, and it's won by Kevin Angote.
This is Dominic Osino, just plays it to Laila Siligo. There was a hint of a handling error there from Herman Humo, but apparently he kept the ball. It is presented for Osino. Tony Mtai, the veteran, the grand old man of this Quins team, was there for their treble successes between 2010 and 2012. William Baka on the chase there, the bounce, the ball eventually taken out to touch by Samuel Liech. But William Juguna, after an early and promising start in the first half, this game just petered out and just became something else.
Absolutely, yes, it became something ance. There was lack of an edge from both teams, and it's going to be a line-out throw for Quins here, because it is Samuel Liech who took that ball out. As Lenas Kunida gets his wiring, the microphone set up here. His game is on a knife edge. Whoever will want it more, I think, and will play with a level head and take their chances, will carry the day and advance to the semi-final. On the other side of town, or actually Nakuru, it's Nakuru who are leading 12 points to 8 at halftime against Mwamba. They got a second try just before halftime, so Nakuru there leading, but still a long way to go there as Tony Mutai wins that ball in the line out here. As Quins attempt to go for a rolling maul here. It's Impala with a bit of defending to do in this early part of the second half. Elkins Musonye there just trying to rip that ball out, but the maul forms again. Tony Mutai is there. It's a good body positioning by the Quins forwards, and the referee's arm is out, so he's playing advantage. It's Quins now trying to get this maul going, but they collapsed it. Osino, Eden Aguero finds William Baka, and Baka is taken down there. Good defense from Impala, but Baka has made some good ground here. And
Huma with the pass out wide. Aluda Beda did not field it initially, gets it and then gets a meter forward. You wonder what Charles Cardovillis said to his boys at halftime. Obviously wasn't in the softest of tones. Penalty advantage is with Quins. Linus Kinuthia looks as though he is summoning wisdom from his assistant referee, probably looking to reprimand a player. We will determine who is being reprimanded, which team is being punished. Has been a bright start from Quins. Daniel Ndome has been called out for his indiscretion. Linus Kinuthia does not hesitate to send the Impala hooker into the bin for the next 10 minutes. This should certainly give Quins the forward movement. This is the second yellow card Impala have received in this game, and they will have to watch on their discipline if they are to, number one, secure this lead, and number two, qualify for a return to the Kenya Cup semi-final.
Yes, Impala really have to watch their discipline. Can't afford having men being sent to the bin at critical parts of the game. And now Quins should be smelling blood here.
A ball claimed by Tony Mtai finds the floor. Dominic Osino is looking for that ball. He's just marshaled his forwards. They've done well to secure it. That is Herman Humwa. Looked to carry it another meter forward. That was a bit messy from the back row man.
Slow ball there. Slow ball coming from the breakdown, but the referee penalizes Impala there.
And this is what we're talking about, William Juguna. Impala's discipline at the breakdown will have to be paramount. Remember, they conceded that penalty try after Quinto Ongo's indiscretions. Moments ago, we have seen Daniel Ndome sent to the sin bin, and now they have been penalized deep in their half. Quins have elected to go for the line out. They will certainly be looking to walk this home and go into the lead for the first time since that penalty try early in the first half.
Yeah, but Impala doggedly defending, but Quins now with the momentum from that line out, playing in the right area of the pitch.
That's Paul Kioko in possession. He is driving forward. Osino is with him. Paul Kioko has the try line beckoning. Quins driving on furiously. Impala defending desperately. You can see Osino, he really wants that ball. Impala players putting everything there, throwing their bodies on the line. Quins going in search of that go-ahead try. They certainly have the possession. They certainly have the momentum. Impala are on the ropes. 14-man Impala. Can they survive the onslaught that is coming from Quins?
And the referee's arm is out. He was playing advantage here. So the next breaking play, there will be a penalty.
So again, the movement is still with Quins. Although Impala looked to have forced the turnover, yes, the penalty has come. It has been awarded to Quins. Daniel Ndome there, the man in the naughty boys chair for the next 8 or so minutes, following the proceedings when he feels that he should have been throwing his body on the line. Fortunately, that's what he gets for his indiscretions.
Yes, and already Lennox Kinuthia having a word now with the two Impala leaders here, Joel Omer and Samson Onsomu. Patrice Agunda is also coming just to give his word. And Kinuthia not happy with the way Impala are either defending the maul or the breakdown. And I think the next player who probably comes who does an infringement will be sent to the bin. Already Impala down to 14 men, and you can't afford to play a game of this magnitude with 14 men or 13 men for 10 or 20 minute spells. It really kills the momentum and of the team. And Impala really will have to watch their discipline here. They're under the cosh here in these opening 7 minutes of the second half. Lennox Kinuthia refereed the Nondis Impala game, actually not Nondis KCB game 2-3 weeks ago, and he took an earful from the Nondis coach Willis Ojal as Impala now defend this maul yet again. Or do Quins have white line fever? Can't breach the Impala line here, and it's Impala with a bit of defending. Impala maul defense,
but it is Quins still driving forward. They certainly have Impala on the cosh. Osino, the ball eventually is claimed by Angote. Osino once again is part of the action. Will it be him or Paul Kioko? A scrum half, big question there. Paul Kioko claims that ball. Tony Mtai is now with it. Try line is in sight. Quins with the momentum. Can they barge over for this one? Tony Mtai has done this time and again for club and country. Can he go over with the crucial score? Doesn't, but he does well to present the ball. The crowd here is following the action anxiously, for that matter. It is a furious fight for that ball. If this was a boxing match, it would be one scrap heap.
Quins have been capped in the Impala 22. Once again, Patrice Agunda trying to go for another line drive here, but it's Impala defending. Question is, are they defending legally or illegally? Because the referee's arm seems to be out. Tony Mutai here as Joel Omer tries to rip that ball out. The Impala defense has stood tall here.
But it is still Quins in possession. They are certainly within grasp of that try line. But the question is, can they go over the chalk? That is the question, as we just see the hand signal from Linus Kinuthia. That is the go-ahead try from Quins. We will confirm the try scorer in a minute, but current scores 15-14 to Kenya Harlequin. They have certainly paid the price for all their efforts that started towards the close of the first half. They got on to the second half with the same determination, the same pressure. They have got that 5-pointer that puts them a point ahead of Impala with the conversion to come. And we still have 31 minutes to play. Maybe this angle will give us a clearer signal of who scored the try. And after following keenly, we'll probably... It looks like Mike Onsando, the try scorer.
Absolutely, yes. As,
Mike Onsando scores the try, as William Juguna said there. Samson Onsomu just giving...
tries to have a word with the referee, but I think Linus Kinuthia is having none of it, because he is going by the letter of the law. As Laila Asiligwa lines up this conversion to give Quins a 3-point buffer, and we still do have 30 more minutes to go in this encounter. It's Quins who have come out guns blazing in the second half.
Latest score from the Nakuru Athletic Club. Nakuru taking a 12-8 lead into the halftime interval against Stanbic Mwamba, as Lyle Asiligwa slices his kick wide. The scores remain 15-14. This match is finally poised with half an hour to play here at the Rfuea ground.
Yes, it's finally poised here, and Asiligwa making a hash of that conversion kick. Can Impala respond? They had a very bright spell in the opening 20 or so 25 minutes of the first half. Can they get back into the driver's seat as we head into the next half an hour of this encounter here at the Rfuea ground? Remember, the winner of this game advances to the semi-finals. Charles Kadovilis, Victor Sudi, former Kenya 7s and 15s international. As ball goes straight out. Poor kick there from Samuel Yech. So it's advantage to Quins yet again. Not the way Impala would have wanted to start this play. And it's a poor kick there from Samuel Lech, especially when you've been under the cosh for the last 10 minutes of the opening part of the second half. Kick on the full. It's going to be advantage to Quins here.
Not just looking at the Quins lineup, they're also devoid of quite a number of players who have been crucial for them throughout the season. Ugandan internationals Jasper Ochen, Aaron Oforioth, not in action. Of course, Solomon Okia is out with a long-term injury. Then also talk about players like Frank Kalwale, who has been a regular starter at the hooker position, not in the matchday squad, and it would be interesting to find out the reason for his absence. In our picture there, Edgar Obino was a starter for Impala at the start of the season, but has fallen down the picking order, lately coming on as a replacement. Dominic Ossino bracing himself for the scrum feed. Was almost perfect there, plays it through to Eden Aguero. Quins' backs just beginning to come into life. They had a rather sedate first half, but that man has been busy throughout this fixture. Paul Kioko. Michael Onsando, the try scorer, continues to drive forward. His cousin Malcolm Onsando, Kenya international, not in the matchday squad.
Paul Kioko held up there, so it's advantage to Impala. They will breathe a huge sigh of relief as Kioko tried to go to the floor, but the Impala defense really held him up there. Good take there from William Baka. Good defense coming in from Billy Omondi there. And advantage to Impala. Impala have not seen so much of the ball in the final 10 minutes of the first half, and this first 10 minutes of the second half. 15-14 the scoreline, and we still do have 27 minutes to go between these two fierce rivals. The winner goes home. The loser advances to the semi-finals. And a good scrum there from Quins, able to turn it round there. And Impala, without one of their players, actually, yes, Daniel Domi comes back onto the field of play after serving his time in the naughty chair. Probably he can stabilize this Impala scrum, which has gone backward there. Thought there was a hint of rain in the air 2 hours ago, but looks like the rain has cleared and conditions here should be ideal for the final 25 minutes or so here in this encounter between these two rivals. Dominic Osino to feed this ball into the scrum, and Impala scrum literally trying to punch the way there. Good break there from Frank Wanyama. Wanyama, does he have support?
Yes, he has, in the form of Aluda Beda. Does well to claim that ball, finds the floor, plays it to Dominic Osino. Herman Humwa, that looked like it was an intentional, I don't know, William Juguna. Obviously, Joel Omer was going for the intercept. It bounced off his hand. Linus Kinuvia obviously does not want to reach out into his pocket and dish out a third yellow card. Was playing the advantage. We just catch a glimpse of the Impala supporters here. Chairman Bob Asio. Sitting next to him is, yes, as you mentioned, Bill Odongo and Matt Maina, as well as Brian Jara, all former Impala players. Their faces obviously tell you what side of the scoreline that their team is on. Just catch some of the sights and sounds here at the Rfuea ground. But certainly it is Quins playing with the momentum, with their tails up. Next weekend is the Enterprise Cup semi-finals, and Kenya Harlequin will be up against Cabras Sugar.
The lineout wasn't messy, but Quins are able to retain possession. Herman Humwa driving at the line. Osino finds Tony Mutai. Mutai, Quins smelling another try here, but good defense there by that man, Elkins Musonye.
This is Dominic Osino, plays it short to Patrice Agunda. Once again, Quins are repelled close to the Impala try line. This is Brian Waraba. Carries that ball forward for Quins. Osino brings in Herman Humwa. The ball eventually claimed by Kevin Angote. Quins once again showing the intent. Patrice Agunda with quick feet there. Playing as a back row this afternoon, but remember he used to be a back. Played in midfield for Quins as they won the Kenya Cup 3 years in a row between 2010 and 2012. He was part of a midfield combination alongside David Ambunya, who is still playing in midfield at outside center.
And it's Quins, and actually obstruction there, and Impala dodge a bullet.
But certainly you can see the intent that is coming through from Quins.
Yes, yeah, they are playing with a lot of intent. And actually the referee changes his mind and actually gives a penalty. And Samson Onsomu just so disappointed, not happy with the way things are going for Impala.
In our picture there, Ben Ogonji, former KCB scrum half. You just catch a glimpse of the Impala bench. Neto Simiu, Eric Kopondo, Mike Masti, Owino, Paul Mutsami, who have been regular starters for Impala this season. We'll also catch a glimpse of Darwin Mukidza, probably thinking about the next time he will be back on the field of play. Unfortunate that his season was cut short with that knee injury, which was aggravated in the 44-20 win against Cabras several moons ago. Speaking of moons, those fans there just wondering which will be the next point of action in this game. There is a break in play. We have 22 minutes to play. It is Quins with the ascendancy, the 1 point lead. They are definitely looking, William Juguna, to make it a lot more comfortable heading into the final 20.
Absolutely, yes. They have been the dominant side so far in this final 10 minutes of the first half and even of the second half. possession and territory. They are playing in the right areas, while Impala can't just get a sniff out of their own line. And it's Quins who are dominating. Good scrum there, good maul coming from them.
That's a big drive from Quins, and they are going to ground it. Try time for Kenya Harlequin 2014. And certainly they are beginning to inch further and further away from Impala. A 6-point lead with the conversion to come. But William Juguna, just what we talked about moments ago, certainly coming into play.
Yes, what we said a few minutes. And it all started with that kickoff from Samuel Lech, putting the kickoff straight out. And from then on, it's Quins who've dominated. They've asked questions of the Impala defense. And they've gotten try number 3 there. Try number 3, and they lead now by 20 points to 14 with the conversion kick to come. Patrice Agunda with a try, and the conversion kick to come now from Lyle Asiligwa. Latest score from the Nakuru Athletic Club is Nakuru leading 17-15. Collins Injera has scored 2 tries there for Mwamba as Aluda Beda lines up this conversion.
John Aluda Beda, formerly with Cabras Sugar. That is a sweetly struck kick from the winger. It sails between the sticks. 22-14, 20 minutes to play here. Quins in the ascendancy, sniffing a place in the Kenya Cup semi-final at the expense of their bitter rivals Impala. But remember, everything could change in the final 20 minutes.
Remember when these two teams met last year, it was Impala who won by 34 points to 10. And when the two teams met in January, it was Impala who were run ragged by Quins, losing by 37 points to 24. And so far, it's Quins who are in the ascendancy. Samuel Lech now lines up this restart here for Impala.
Hope he gets it right. It is a deep kick from Samuel Lech. There was a bit of hesitation there from Quins players. Patrice Agunda goes out into touch, but it will be a Quins line-out throw. Just catch a glimpse of the crowd here at the Rfuea ground.
Quins with the line out and they win it, and it's won there by the Quins forwards. And Eden Aguero is able to clear his lines there. It's a good kick there from Eden Aguero. It's going to be a line-out throw for Impala. 22-14 the current scoreline. Quins leading after making a very slow start. They lead this game by 22 points to 14. Remember, the winner of this game advances to the semi-finals to play KCB at the Lions Den. 18.5 minutes to go to the end of this encounter. Can Impala strike back? And the referee says that line-out throw was not straight. Everything seemed to be going wrong for Impala here.
And it remains close in Nakuru. 2 points separating the two sides. Nakuru with the slender 17-15 lead over Mwamba. Still have about 18 minutes to play in that match as well. The winner of that match will qualify for the semi-finals, where they will play away to Cabras Sugar in Kakamega on the 11th of May. And this match that is going on here at the Rfuea ground between Quins and Impala is 22-14 in favor of the home side, Kenya Harlequin. The winner of this match proceeding to play KCB in the other semi-final at the KCB Sports Club in Ruaraka on the same date, 11th of May. The ball is booted downfield. Samuel Lech claims it, and then the fake there that looked like a bit of a high tackle from William Baka, but he did enough to slow down the momentum. Yes, the high tackle was penalized. Penalty quickly taken by Impala. Nyandigisi on the floor. The ball is being looked for desperately. Omer Makori finds a flaw. Onsomu is at the scene, gets the ball, moves a meter or two forward. Joel Omer is looking to claim that ball. Makori avails it. This is Onsomu. Edgar Obino on as a second half substitute, a replacement for Steve Juma. Impala just looking to get a lot more mobility in their front row. Remember, Steve Juma is a bulking figure.
Yes, yeah, he's a bulking figure. Samuel Yates there, good take from him. And a high tackle there coming in from William Baka. And Impala opting to go for the quick tap, while probably they should have gone to the corner, look for territory. Trailing by 22 points to 14, 16 minutes to go. Impala need to really get something out of this game, especially in the next 5 to 10 minutes, to make this game interesting. Quins have really brought an edge in the second half and been able to play territory in the right area of the pitch as the two captains argue with Linus Kinuthia. High tackle, and there were not 10, so Impala an opportunity here to play in the right area of the pitch as we enter into the final 15 minutes of this game. Anthony Nyandikisi, that kick does find touch, and it's going to be a line out throw for Impala. 15 minutes remaining. Converted try takes them to within 1 point of Quins. Snapshot of the crowd here. Some of the fans who've come to catch a glimpse of the action. Daniel Dome, his line out throw to get his line out right was very poor from them in the first half. And once again, Quins are penalized. Quins do get a second bite. Impala do get a second bite of the cherry. But they're the full 10 meters. Can Impala get something here? Elkins Musonye flashing his way there. Samson Onsomu is there. Finds man in jersey number 23. That is Kelvin Rono. Bilo Mondi. Mondi goes over. Here comes Soita Wekesa. Taken back there. Onsomu. It's Impala now asking questions of the Quins defense. Here comes Nyandikisi, and this will be a try for Impala, and Davis Makori goes over the whitewash. 22-19. The try has been coming, and Impala get to within 2 points here. What a game we have on our hands here. Davis Makori there, locking out on the wide channels. Good pass there from Anthony Nyandikisi, and Davis Makori shrugging off Dominic Osino to go over the whitewash and takes the score now to 22-19. Good hands from the Impala players, and Davis Makori barging over the chalk, and with the conversion kick to come, Samuel Yates, critical kick here with 13.5 minutes remaining.
Samuel Yates is a figure of concentration. His kick sails wide. It remains 22-19, but William Juguna, we are setting ourselves up for final 13 or so minutes. This game is close. It is tight. Winner takes all. And certainly at this moment in time, it is difficult to tell who between Quins and Impala wants it more, because Quins have had a storming start. Should have been a lot more points ahead. Find themselves 3 points clear of Impala, who, despite being slow starters during the regular season, have clawed back to claim a number of victories, except for that occasion when they were literally blown away, as you rightfully mentioned, by Quins, that game ending 37-24 on the day. Could this be the day that those fortunes change? Samson Onsomu with a kick downfield goes out into touch, obviously relieving the pressure that Quins intended to build.
Absolutely, yes. 12.5 minutes remaining. Remember, it's a 3-point ball game. Whoever probably scores the next try, especially if it's Quins, I think could be game, set and match.
Tony Mtai claims that ball from the line-out throw.
Peter Misango come on as a substitute.
Definitely coming in to replace Kevin Angote, who started ahead of him at number 8. Eden Aguero with the kick downfield. Does it find touch? No, it doesn't. Billy Omondi showed great balance there. Billy Omondi with a delayed pass. He should have just offloaded it, but elected to sell the dummy. It wasn't bought there by Dominic Orsino. He loses the ball, goes out into touch, and as usual, William Juguna. It was only a matter of time before this happened.
Absolutely, tensions boiling. Yes, not the first time we saw it. I think we also saw it last year when Quins lost to Impala 10-8. There was a massive scrap between the two sets of players.
But he has not to worry. These two sets of players will soon be laughing about this in the post-match formalities. Obviously, it's just a rush of blood. William Juguna makes you lose your rationale. And let's just see that. That was beautiful balance from Billy Omondi. And then this is the moment where you just feel he should have outed that ball, elected not to, when Dominic Orsino was having enough of it.
Absolutely, yes.
Solid tackle. Billy Omondi seems to have hurt 1 or 2, maybe 3 of his fingers.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. And I thought actually he should have passed the ball to Samuel Liech, because Samuel Liech was actually on his shoulder. And those are the kind of opportunities that you miss. You can see there William Baka also being treated. Ajibaji, the tension is a lot in this game. Stakes are high. No one wants to lose this game here, as Linus Kinuthia summons Patrice Agunda. Don't know what call he's going to make here, because that should have been it should have been a Quins line out, and Frank Wanyama, I think, has been sent to the bin. And as Mike Kwambo said, these two players will probably have a celebratory drink at the end. So Quins down to 14 men. I don't know how this. Yes, it's going to be a penalty for Impala. 9.5 minutes to go to this end of this Ngong Road derby, which of all the Ngong Road derbies I've watched in the last couple of years has been a bit subdued, and especially with the semi-final placing up in store as William Baka gets treated, and Frank Wanyama is going to be out for the next 10 minutes.
Actually is going to see off the rest of this game if our timings are in sync with those of referee Linus Kinuthia. Certainly, William Juguna, it has been a close contest. The question is, can Impala utilize the extra man's advantage and go ahead, probably for good? Because you feel that the team that does score now obviously has the game done and dusted.
Absolutely, yes. Critical game here we have with 9 minutes to go, and the added time from the referee. As William Baka is still being treated there, so we maybe may have another 3 to 4 minutes of time being added on here. Stakes are high between those two teams, as Mike Mwanja just tries to cool down the tempers of the two coaches.
You can see the tension as it is etched in the faces of those fans. This makes for a precious 8 or so minutes to the closure of this game. William Juguna, it hasn't been the most exciting of games in terms of quality, but certainly has had its fair share of drama. It's easy to forget that Elkins Musonye scored a brace for Impala in this match early on.
Yes, absolutely, and already that was a good scrum from Impala. They were able to counter that scrum, but I think Quins will be able to clear their lines here from this ball.
Latest from Nakuru, Mwamba looking to return to the Kenya Cup semi-final for the first time since the 2012-2013 season. They lead Nakuru by 1 point, 18-17. Same amount of time left in Nakuru as in this fixture here in Nairobi. We'll be updating you with the scores as we receive them. That was Quinto Ongo going into contact. Quick tap from Paul Mutsami on as a late replacement. Impala just looking to up the ante. They are 15 against 14. They have brought in the fresh legs. Neto Simiu, Eric Kopondo. This is Neto Simiu, the experienced journeyman. The ball is stolen by David Ampunya. Does he have the gas? David Ambunya with some intelligent running, but he's being tracked down by Billy Omondi. The ball eventually claimed there, still kept alive. This is an opportunity for Quins. The ball played out wide, and Eric Shikuku is going to score the try that puts daylight between Quins and Impala. 27-19 with 6 minutes to play here at the Rfuea ground. William Juguna, could this be the nail in the Impala coffin?
Absolutely, it looks like the nail in the coffin. An intercept pass there, and you can see the Impala fans hands on heads as they were attempting to go for their own try. David Ambunya reading that pass very well and scooting his way, and he was able to get good support from Dominic Osino, and that probably could be it for Impala. Just when it looked like they were still very much in the game, David Ambunya reads the pass very well and intercepts that pass.
It was Edward Chitanda with the final pass to Eric Shikuku. He goes over for the daylight bringing try for Quins. Do know that Eric Shikuku has got a pair of lungs that has lots and lots of gas in them.
Absolutely, yes. As Aluda Beda now lines up this conversion, and that probably could be game, set and match, because Impala have to score 2 tries in 4 minutes. Margins in this game are very narrow.
And that kick from Aluda Beda is successful, takes the score
to 29-19.
And you can see the relief finally being exhibited by the Quins fans. They have been tense throughout the game. 10 points to the good with 5 minutes to play. William Juguna, can Impala still mount a comeback? Because both teams playing mind games with each other. They've waited late to empty the bench, and when they have, the tempo of the game has certainly risen. Because on the Quins side, you can see Eric Shikuku, Daudi Semwami all on the field to play. But on the Impala side, Eric Kopondo, Edgar Obino, Neto Simiu, just among the replacements. That ball is claimed by the man we're talking about, Neto Simiu, former Kenya Simbas international. Comes from rich rugby pedigree. His brothers Innocent and Victor, both Kenya Sevens and 15s internationals in their day. Both captained both squads as well.
Yes, comes from, as you say, a rich rugby pedigree, rich rugby stock. As Neto Simiu now changes direction, finds
Edgar Obino struggling to find the floor. Eventually he does. Zoil Omer looks to evade his marker, goes to the floor. Charles Kadovilis is all anxious. 4 minutes remain here at the Rfuea ground. He certainly will be pumping his fists in the air should the full-time whistle sound. Until then, he has to endure such moments of emotion, of demonstration. Sami Oliet with the kick downfield is a big kick from the fullback. Territory gained for Impala.
Yeah, but probably that was the final nail in the coffin by David Ambunya. That intercept has probably been the game-changing moment of this game. Second half has really bubbled into life a bit, but still, it's Quins who have the edge. And with 3.5 minutes remaining, I think Impala's semi-final hopes all but actually going up in smoke here. There was a knock-on there from Quins, and it's going to be advantage to Impala. But it's going to be crumbs for comfort, because had the score remained at 22-19, and probably we could be talking something different. And I think the Quins subs have made a big difference. Remember, the winner of this game advances to the semi-finals to face KCB on the 11th of May at the Lions Den in Doraka, while Impala probably will be left with the Enterprise Cup game next week against KCB at the Impala Club. Lose that one, and their Kenya and their 15th season is well and truly over. Frank Long there and Oscar Osir cutting figures of disconsolation.
Certainly, William Juguna, this hasn't been a beauty of a match. It has been a slugfest. Each team giving the other as good as they have gotten. It's Neto Simiu with a pass out wide, just looking to stretch the Quins defense. That was a brilliant show and go from Anthony Nyandigisi. Using all his experience, just feel a penalty coming, and there it comes. Nyandigisi guilty of not releasing.
Yes, Nyandigisi isolated as he attacked that space, and lack of support coming in from his teammates. So Quins getting the rub of the green there, getting the alignment and defense right. And we're into the last few seconds of this encounter. This Kenya Cup playoff game here at the Rfuea ground coming to an end. Quins leading 29 points to 19. Haman Humo there, William Baka. Remember, next Quins face Cabras in the Enterprise Cup semi next weekend here at the same venue. A match you will be seeing live on Bamba Sport. And what a good way to warm up for this game by winning this Ngong Road derby. Frank Wanyama there, the guilty man, who sent to the naughty chair, probably coming in for the last few seconds of this encounter.
William Jugun, it is interesting to note that Quins scored that go-ahead try with Frank Wanyama on the bench for the 10 minutes. They're about to get back to full strength. This ball is fielded by Sami Oliech. He lays the kick, passes it to Billy Omondi. Anthony Nyandigisi, hard running from the experienced center. That was a short pass from Sami Onsomo. Quins curtailing the movement. Neto Simiu just looks to bring more players. That is Eric Kopondo finding the floor. Onsomo changes direction, plays it to Nyandigisi. Nyandigisi looks for the floor, but his descent to the floor was being curtailed by the Quins players. Onsomu looks for that ball, he finds it, he gets it. Is carried a meter forward by Obino. You just catch a glimpse there of the Impala bench following the proceedings keenly. Mutsami, eventually Billy Omondi. Billy Omondi is going to go over. The drama continues here, 29-24. Conversion to come. Billy Omondi goes to the floor, clutching his calf, but he's got 5 points on the board.
And Billy Omondi, who's had an injury-plagued season, just came back at the tail end of the group phase, going over the whitewash to take the score now to 29-24. The conversion kick to come. He will be attended to as we await the conversion, but it's probably game, set and match. Quins are through to the semi-finals. But Impala never gave up. Billy Omondi there just shrugging off Osino and David Temwami to go over the whitewash as Samuel Leach now lines up this conversion. I don't know if there'll be added time to see if Impala can get back into this game. And the conversion goes wide. So those are 4 points missed by Impala. Actually 6 points missed by Impala. As you can see that man there, Billy Omondi, going over the whitewash. Grimacing in pain, I think, either his knee or his ankle. There'll be added time here by the referee. As Billy Omondi is being treated. I think both sides have scored 4 tries each, or I think probably Quins have scored 5. There's actually added time. What can Impala do now? One last heave. They need to keep the ball alive.
This is Eric Kere, carries that ball into contact. It is great to hear from Ramsey Olinga watching this match all the way in Kampala. Paul Mutami with the ball. Bradley Ocheng, there was a hint of a handling error there. Everything going the way of Quins. Precious little left here at the Rfuea ground, but you feel Impala will have to beat themselves because they started so well and then just faded away. But credit to Quins turning things around when they were beginning to look dead and buried.
And of course those missed conversions also by Samuel Leach also have cost Impala quite a bit. I mean, I'm just looking at those 6 points that they left on the pitch, and it's been a growing theme of Impala this season. Even in the comeback that they had against Quins, remember earlier this season. There were missed penalties and missed conversions, which probably would have made the score a little bit interesting. That wouldn't really matter to Quins, because as things stand, they are leading by 29 points to 24.
Not too sure if those are early celebrations or just a group of fans saying hi to friends they know watching on TV and around the world. Heading into the final moments of this fixture is a 5-point lead between Quins and Impala. You can see the anxiety, the tension, probably even the satisfaction from the fans. Is Quins' scrum feed. William Juguna, precious little left in this fixture.
Absolutely, yes.
Quins in an attacking position in Impala's half. This is Peter Misango, breaks through two defenders, finds the floor. Dominic Osino, he's played the entire 80 minutes of this fixture. Passes that ball through to Elisha Kironya. This is Osino once again, changing direction. This is Eden Aguero, attempts the drop goal. Obviously it isn't accurate, but there is penalty that has been awarded.
Referee was playing advantage there, and so it will be a penalty. So what options do Quins have? Do they go to the corner or do they go for the penalty, just to solidify an 8-point buffer between them and Impala? Actually opted to go for a quick tap. Actually kicks it out, and game over. Quins have beaten Impala by 29 points to 24, a cracking game which came to life in the second half. So Impala's Kenya Cup season comes to a grinding halt here. Commiserations to Impala, congratulations to Quins, who advanced to the semi-finals, and they will play KCB on the 11th of May. Let us get now a result from the other side in Nakuru.
Obviously you can see the Quins players taking in this result. Still have two big fixtures coming up in the next fortnight. Next weekend's Enterprise Cup semi-final against Kabras Sugar at this very venue, before traveling to the KCB Sports Club in Ruaraka for that Kenya Cup semi-final, as we just see a confirmation of the full-time score from the Rfuea ground. It is the home side, Kenya Harlequin, with a 29-24 win over Impala Saracens. And very shortly we shall be taking you through to the highlights. That was Samuel Liech slowing down the momentum that was being built by William Ambaka. And that was the moment Quins went ahead for good. Michael Onsando barging over for that try, and then came this. That was that tackle from Billy Omondi. And then Frank Wanyama with some hard running. Aluda Beda, that particular point was slowed down. The fans were discussing, they were talking about the game, probably thinking about what they would have done if they were on the field of play. These fans were just taking in the drama. It was a bit too much for them. And then came this truck and trailer from Quins. Patrice Agunda was at the back of that. Did he go over? Yes, he did. Then Samuel Liech faked Frank Wanyama but did not slow down William Baka, who brought him to the floor. And then there was that brilliant take. Let's just see that once again. Hint of a high tackle, but you can see the determination there from William Baka in bringing down Samuel Liech. And then the ball was played out wide, and Davis Makori cut some brilliant running lines there to keep Impala ahead. Not ahead, but actually to keep them in touch in this match. There was once again the offload, the brilliant running line from the veteran Davis Makori. At this point, Impala were ahead, and then obviously as it is between every set of neighbors. There must be a neighborly dispute, William
There has to be a fight.
and this was manifested at this particular point in time. The village chief was called in, and they shall be resolving these matters later on in the clubhouse, and everybody will be happy going home this evening.
Absolutely, yes. Billy Omondi there
But you have to give credit to Billy Omondi. Showed great balance there.
just didn't get the support line there of Samuel Oliech, right? Should have passed that ball to Oliech.
Exactly.
And he was tackled out there, bruised his fingers a bit. And then came the moment that changed the match here. Nato Simiu. And then there was, only our director could have showed us that intercept, which was won by David Nambunya, which saw this man, Edward Shitanda, or Eric Shikuku, going over the whitewash to give Quins a 10-point buffer. And Frank Ndongo Oscar Osir not happy with the way things gone. And then Samuel Oliech just feeding there Billy Omondi. Omondi finding Anthony Nyandikisi as the fans just cheered and liked whatever they saw on the pitch. And then this try by Billy Omondi.
Well, too little, too late, William Zuguna. Impala obviously fighting to the end, but obviously not able to secure the result. We can confirm that these were Quins fans prematurely celebrating the result. It eventually came to pass. And William Juguna, the action was great. Any moment from now, we shall be going pitch side to join Caroline Commander with the post-match interviews. See you again next time.
Well, quite an exciting Ngongro derby, much to everyone's expectations, with the second half that was as exciting as everyone expected. Now, Queens have taken the day away with 29 points, Impala 24 points. Let's listen to what both coaches have to say after the game. All right, Coach, you started the game so well.
Yes.
What happened?
Indiscipline. With those number of penalties, we were always going to be the back foot. Yeah.
What exactly have you taken away from this particular game?
We must take our chances. We had our chances. Cleans were clinical and discipline. At the end of the day, discipline, both tactical and team discipline. That is how Queens got into the game, and that's how they got the points, and that's how they won. Yeah.
Coach, what exactly did you tell your boys at halftime? You guys were you started really well.
Yes.
Yeah. What advice did you give them just before the second half?
No, one, we worked on our defense a bit better, but we also had to go for high risk in order to get the points. Sometimes high risk, high returns, or make or break. Yes.
Hey, thank you so much, Coach. Let's listen to what the winning coach has to say. Congratulations, Coach. Now I can say that.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, tough game. That's how the derbies are usually. Very tough contests. But I'm glad that we came out on top. Doesn't really matter 1, 3, 5 points. Doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, the target was to get to the semi-finals. And kudos to the boys. They put their bodies out there and won the game.
Now, you didn't start the game particularly well. What exactly did you tell the boys at halftime that changed everything?
No, I mean, you could obviously see there was a bit of sort of jitters and playoff stuff. That would happen. Even the best players of the world, sometimes the nerves can get to them in the beginning of the game. They just needed to settle down and play some rugby, and which they started doing. And especially against a quality side like Impala, trying to come back can be very difficult. But the bounce of the ball went outside. The boys just forced the mistakes out of Impala. Our forwards worked really hard and took them to the kosh and put the points that we needed. So very happy with the 40 the second half, the 40 minutes of the second half. And yeah, so we'll enjoy the night tonight and then back to the drawing board tomorrow as we play KCB next weekend.
Yeah, speaking of KCB, what exactly are your preparations for that?
Oh, well, we'll keep it the same. You know, at the end of the day, we're trying, as I said earlier before the game, it's more focusing on what we are trying to do, play to our patterns and making sure that we're able to execute. If we're able to execute with how we are trying to play, then we should be able to beat any side. KCB will be a very tough task. They're defending champions. We've played them once this season, and it was a tough game, and they came out on top. So we'll be looking at that, analyzing how we played today, and just seeing that we can get sort of the combinations and structures and patterns that can hurt KCB.
Thank you so much, Coach, and congratulations once more. Yeah. And that was a tight quarterfinal game against Queens and Impala. Queens taking the day, 29 points to 24 points. And now let's just have a look at the highlights from this game.
in the second.